What's good, y'all? It's your boy Black Suit Spidey 3.0, keeping the action going with another unboxing. Alright, so I am right now, I'm kind of unsure whether or what I'm going to title this video. I don't know if it's going to be a mystery unboxing or if I'm going to just tell you straight out what it is in the title. Haven't decided yet, but I figured at least for right now, I'll just leave the air of mystery and, we'll see what it is once I unbox it. But yeah, very excited for this one right here. I got this figure probably like maybe 2 weeks ago. Had it for, yeah, maybe like a couple weeks now. I'm excited because it is, I will, just as like a hint, I will say that it is a Spider-Man figure, all right? More specifically, a spectacular Spider-Man figure, all right? One that, I guess turned out to be more rare than I initially thought. So I'm glad that I was able to finally pick it up. I did see it on Mercari, and yeah. So, man, I forgot to write the seller's name in. I forgot to write the guy that sold this to me down. His name, but I will definitely have him in the description to shout him out because I remember asking him if I could do that, and he did agree. I totally forgot to write it down, so he will be in the description. Try to leave like a link to his Mercari shop if you guys want to check it out. Give him some business, that would be great. But yeah, so without further ado, we're just gonna get straight to it, man, because we got a lot of people that I want to compare this figure to. So let's get to it. All right, cut it right through this tape. So, nicely packaged box here, keeping the figure nice and protected. Always appreciate some good packaging. All right, so there we go. That was quick. I really only had to open up like one side of the box, so that's nice. Didn't have to go through the hassle of trying to, open every single side. All right, yes, sir. He is out of the box. So yeah, this is obviously a used figure, so it's not in like the most pristine condition ever, but that being said, I do still really like how it looks, how it feels right now. I got it out. I'm just kind of messing with the joints a little bit. But yeah, very, very nice looking figure. So just straighten him out a little bit here. And we shall get him in the camera's view. Okay, there we go. Let's just see if he can stand up real quick. His legs are a little funky right now, so I'm just trying to get him in a good stance. Okay, there we go. That's pretty good. Yeah. So check it out, y'all. We got the Black Suit Spectacular Spider-Man. Oh yeah. And this is a particularly special one because this is the version of him that had the webbing still in his costume, and I really, really like how that looks. Against the black. Definitely does remind me a lot of the Raimi suits. If you did watch Spectacular Spider-Man, you probably picked up on the fact that his suit actually did change like multiple times when he got the black suit on him. When the symbiote, as the symbiote, gradually took over, his suit actually did change multiple times. So like when it first took over, it basically just made like, his normal red and blue costume black, right? And then like the spider symbols were the same, they just turned white instead of black and red. They were like white on the front and the back. And then as the symbiote started to take over more, he started to get more of this kind of like reminiscent Venom logo on his chest, even though it is a little bit different from the classic one, because normally like the four legs would be kind of all together. But like on the Spectacular Spider-Man, they kind of like spread the legs out like two and two on each side, which is still a really cool look. And then the webbing on his costume slowly started to kind of like disappear, like more and more. So like you can see right here at this stage, he only has it really like up here in his mask, down the sides of his arms, right here, and then of course like at the boots and whatnot. But like all the webbing that would normally be like down here in the lower torso has started to disappear. So he really only had it kind of like a little bit in the chest, but the spider logo at that point had mostly taken over like his whole chest area. But yeah, I really like the look of this, the whole webbing, on the black suit. And I really like how they handled the spider symbols as well, even though it's not like the classic, Venom logo or whatever. I do like, how this white spider on the back looks, for instance. I really like that. I think that looks super dope. Obviously, got some paint wear, a little bit of paint chipping that happened over time. This is a used figure, so no telling, how long the seller had it. But yeah, no biggie, man. Honestly, you guys know I enjoy painting, so I would have no problem trying to, touch this up a little bit and add some white. I plan to do that after the review at some point. So yeah, but just looking at like the sculpting of it and everything looks very nice. I think it is actually like sculpted, the spider, even though it's not raised, but it is sculpted into the back, and so it's not just like a flat paint job. So I like that. It does actually have some sculpt work to it, so that looks really good. And yeah, I feel like once with a little bit of white paint touching those legs up, and it'll look really good. But for now, yeah, very nice, man. Really like how this guy turned out. And then they do have the like another version of this guy without the webbing, so like he's fully black at that point, and that's like the last stage of like when the symbiote takes over, and he's just got this white spider symbol on his chest, but the costume is like all black at that point because the symbiote has basically fully taken over and bonded with him at that point. But yeah, I always thought that was a really cool like character arc in the show. Something that wasn't shown in any of the other Spider-Man like cartoons or anything like that. So very unique to the Spectacular Spider-Man, which I like, and just super dope, man. I really like it. I actually remember seeing, maybe like a couple of these on eBay back when I was searching for the red and blue, spider charged, superposable Spectacular Spider-Man on eBay. And if you guys haven't seen my, my video review of that guy, be sure to check it out. I reviewed that figure probably like, 3 years ago now? I want to say I got it like 2022 or 23 when I unboxed it on the channel. And it came in like a acrylic display case, so it was like a very rare figure. I spent a lot of money on him. I actually was trying to get him in a bid, like an auction that was on eBay, and I ended up losing, unfortunately, like last minute. But he was supposed, it was supposed to be him and like a full lot of other Spectacular Spider-Man toys. I think it was like nine characters or figures in total. But yeah, I ended up losing that bid, and so at the same time, I happened to be watching another one on eBay that was very expensive. But I said screw it. I was mad that I lost that bid, so I said screw it, and I went for the other one. And yeah, I unboxed it on the channel, so of course we'll do a comparison with that one later so you can see how the red and blue looks next to this guy. But yeah, man, I just really like it. Just the overall aesthetic of this guy I think is great. Just very nicely done, man. Those web patterns and the costume to give him like a little bit of highlight. Just really cool, and it does remind me of like the Spider-Man 3 Sam Raimi black suit a little bit. Very cool. I like how the paint for the eyes also seems to be a little bit more of like a pearlescent white. It's not quite the same as like the white for the spider on his chest, if you can see that. It's kind of got like a hint of like yellow to it, or like, kind of like a more foggy type of white. Yeah, a little more like pearlescent in nature, but I do like that, how that looks. I really like the sculpt of the eyes too. Like the shape of the eyes. For Spectacular Spider-Man, he had like a very specific type of eye shape, very big eyes, kind of like what artist would I attribute that to? Kind of like, I guess, Bagley-esque type of eyes, but I feel like they're a little bit more like angular, or like they're a little more shaped, I guess, kind of this way in this direction, as opposed to like the Bagley eyes, where I feel like they're like more big, like front and center. But like with the shape of like the head that he has in Spectacular Spider-Man, it's like a very specifically shaped head. He's got like the big round dome, pointed chin, and kind of like a jawline shape with the mask. So, but yeah, I do like the bigger eyes that they use for Spectacular Spider-Man. I feel like it fits him, and yeah, I just really like how the sculpts of these came out. Very, very nice. So yeah, man, this is a dope looking figure. So let's go ahead and check out the articulation, play and display. Just how playable is this guy? So starting with the head articulation, let's see. I don't think this is a hinge for this guy. I think it's just like a ball peg. This being one of the older Spectacular Spider-Man figures, so he's not gonna look up very much. I think if I keep pushing it, I'm pretty sure his head's gonna pop off. As far as looking down, kind of move it down a little bit. I'm crunching his whole ab right now, trying to move his head, but yeah, it doesn't move up and down very much. It's a little stiff because it's kind of just like a big fat ball peg, very similar to the older Spectacular Spider-Man figure. So let's see. It does swivel right to right, or right to right, right to left, right? So it swivels both directions. I think you can do a 360. Yeah, you can crank a 360 out of that. No real like head tilting. It's like just the slightest. Doesn't even really count. Can't even tell. So there is that. This is obviously like a dated figure, so the articulation is not going to be the best, but it is what it is. We don't have any bicep swivel cuts for this one, but in the shoulders we do have, this looks like a hinge joint, and it's pretty well hidden, being that he's black. You can't even really see the cut for the hinge in the shoulder unless you like really look, but there is like a hinge in there, so you should be able to raise the shoulder and the arm yay high, which is nice. We can get better than a T pose. So you can see that, basically get like a Y pose, so that's pretty good. Coming above, the clavicle and trap line, so that's good. Coming back down to his sides, pretty nice, looks pretty natural, close to the body. Again, no bicep swivel, no forearm swivel, but we do have a single jointed elbow, which looks pretty nice there. Nice 90 degrees. And I just found out that his wrist does have a swivel, so he can swivel the hands a full 360 there. So you can get those hands turning, which is nice. All right, very, very good. Coming for the torso articulation, we've got kind of like an ab crunch joint. It's cut really like a diaphragm joint, and it's actually pretty nicely done. I like how they handled it because it works well with like the sculpt of his torso. So you can see like basically where the spider logo separates towards the bottom, like the butt of the spider. As it gets onto like this lower, ab section, there's like a cut right underneath that, or right above that, I should say, so that you can kind of bend him backwards. And you are going to see a little bit of a gap when you do that because the paint is not continued through there, but it still looks really good. And this spider logo is sculpted as well, sculpted and painted, so that looks pretty nice. So we have that, and then let's see, any swivel side to side. Yeah, we can turn side to side on that same joint, so you can swivel side to side, which is nice. So yeah, that top joint allows him to like swivel independently of the bottom part, and you can realign it. And then you also have like a waist twist down here. You got a cut for the waist twist, so you can also swivel right to left using that as well. So that's going to help with some posability, which is very, very nice. Coming to the legs, we have those same type of joints that we had with the red and blue Spectacular Spider-Man. So they're like ball joints with hinges. They're kind of weird because you do have to like line up the hinge in the direction that you want to swing his leg. So like for this one, yeah, so like you can kind of see the joint there, or like the hinge is inside that ball. And the way I have it right now, the way it's positioned, his leg is kind of like kicking or like pointing to the side. I think you can like technically rotate the thigh part independent of that ball, so like you can get it, better lined up to where you want to kick. But basically, let's try kicking forward. If you want to kick straight forward and out, it does go to the side a little bit, but he is able to get a pretty nice high kick. So about a 90 degrees high kick, which is nice. Kicking backwards. I think, yeah, I would have to like realign this joint a little bit. So give me just a second here. Trying to get the thigh to kind of rotate independently of that ball, but it is a little tricky. Okay, there we go. So yeah, messing around with it just a little bit, you kind of get that hinge to line up so that he can swing his leg backwards. He's able to kick about that far back, which is actually pretty good. I feel like that's more than most Marvel Legends for sure. And yeah, it is gonna kind of stick out to the side. It's not like a perfect line straight back. It's not like a smooth, kick back, but it is gonna go out to the side a bit. But you just gotta kind of work with it, and then you can bring it back, and then again. So being that it is this type of joint, this cut joint, he does have like the thigh swivel in there, so you can swivel from like that top part. He's got double jointed knees, which actually have a really good bend, and kick, all the way back to like his lower back. So that's really cool. Comes above his butt, and then for the feet, we have a hinge joint, so he can point the toes all the way down. Very, very nice tippy toes. Got that Michael Jackson, heel toe stance, right? And kick up like that. So it's pretty nice too. Get that foot kicking up pretty high there. And yeah, and that's it. No like boot swivel or anything like that. So that's pretty much it. No ankle rocker or pivot or anything like that. It's really just a hinge. Again, very dated articulation, but still worthy of review, of course. And yeah, that's pretty much it as far as I can tell for articulation. Of course, the arm does swivel all the way around, so you can get like a windmill motion, which is nice. And then like being that it's a hinge joint, you can kind of get his arms coming forward. Definitely not gonna get any like real crossbody poses, but you can at least get the arms coming forward and out about that much. That close to the body. Just squeeze him, pinch him in a little bit. And then, he can obviously put his arms out like that, all the way out like he's coming in for a big old, group hug or something. So yeah, very, very nice figure overall. I mean, obviously the articulation isn't the best, but like I said, this is in an older time. Spectacular Spider-Man came out 2008. This figure probably, if I had to guess, probably came out like 2009. Let's see, checking the bottom of his foot. Actually looks like it came out in 2008. So yeah, same year as the show. So trademark, copyright 2008, Marvel 2008. What does that say? Adelaide? Adelaide, I don't know what that is. 2008, Hasbro, China. So there you go. But yeah, man, I really do like this figure despite its, limits. Not even though it's not the most well-designed figure when it comes to the articulation and whatnot, it does still do a really good job of capturing what we saw in the show. And I think this is definitely one of my favorite looks of the overall like black suit, because it had like the 3 different stages that we talked about. But I do really, really like this look, this stage of the suit where he does still have like the webbing in there. And yeah, and like I said, I didn't realize he was like as rare as the red and blue one. I didn't think many people were getting this one, because I did see some pop up on eBay when I was looking for that red and blue Spider Charge one from back in the day. And I was thinking like, I got time, I'll pick them up later. And then, I think like this year when I started like looking around for him and like wanting him more, he was just super hard to find, man. And then the postings that I did see that popped up, the description always said, super rare figure. And so like the price would be like pretty high and stuff. And I was like, oh, I don't want to spend that amount of money on this guy. But, in the end, I did end up kind of caving and, getting to spending, a little bit more than I normally would for something like this. But I was like, you know what, I gotta grab it, man. I gotta grab it because it's calling me. And as a collector, you know, only you can justify what you buy and what ends up in your collection. So yeah, this guy is here, and I think he looks pretty awesome. I like the paint that they use too. It's not super glossy, but it does have like a nice shine to it. It's kind of nice, you know. It's like a mostly matte black paint, especially like in the arms and stuff. The arms are probably like the least shiny. The torso and everything has like a little bit of a shine to it, but it's like a mostly matte paint job, so I like that a lot. I think that helps kind of, you know, draw your eye to the webbing more, because if it was too glossy, you would probably, you know, the webbing pattern would kind of get lost when you look at him, but he actually looks really nice in the lighting that we have, and yeah, you can see the webbing and it looks pretty good. So yeah, man, that is the Black Suit you know, web version of the Spectacular Spider-Man. And again, they did make the version where, you know, he doesn't have any of the webbing; it's just all black. And I plan on getting that one eventually. But yeah, they actually like redid. They kind of handled it just like with the red and blue. So like they had a original wave with these guys that came out with a different body sculpt. And I'm gonna actually show you that body sculpt right now, because crazy thing is, I'm put him to the side real quick. Crazy thing is, like maybe I think it was Easter weekend. My dad actually pulled out a Foot Locker that had like a bunch of my old, you know, figures in it. And inside of it, I found one of my favorite childhood toys, man. I hadn't seen this figure in years. I thought he was gone. And I was just like, no freaking way is this figure still here, man. I was absolutely ecstatic when I saw this. So this is the original red and blue suits Spectacular Spider-Man figure that came out. And man, I have so many like memories with this guy. I used to take this guy to my grandma's house and just play with him. I got like pictures that my cousin took of me like outside with my cousins just playing, and I had this figure with me. I remember we went to my uncle's house. I think he had like a barbecue or something, and you know, I had this guy with me as well. I used to take this guy like everywhere I went, man. This was like my favorite Spidey figure, you know, at the time that Spectacular Spider-Man came out. And I just love it, man. Even though it's very, very show inaccurate, which is why they redid, you know, this figure in a much more show accurate version, which is the one I have now. But I still love this one a lot. Like I knew even as a kid looking at this, I was like, this is not how he looks in the show. But I was like, honestly, I don't mind it too much. I was like, I had to have some kind of representation of Spectacular Spider-Man because I love that show so much. And I remember going to like Toys R Us, and they had like a, you know, section of these guys, and I was like, I gotta get this, you know, this red and blue. This is like the OG body mold that they use. You can see it's very, you know, different from like how he looked in the show. The body is a lot more, I guess, narrow. Like he's got that skinny look that the Spectacular Spider-Man has, but it's more he's like a little lanky and like a lot taller than he normally looks. And like this the head sculpt for this one is definitely like off from how he actually looks in the show. Even though this isn't a bad one, this definitely doesn't quite capture the look that he had. And you know, that Spider Charge one definitely does a better job of getting the show accuracy, but I do still really like this one. There's obviously a lot more webbing on this one than is actually in the show. The webbing is like a lot more spread out, but yeah, you can see he's got like the tight webbing. He does still have like that nice classic Spectacular Spider-Man logo though on the front and the back. This back logo, it wasn't sculpted on this first one. It's actually just painted on in a red. And it's a pretty dark red, so you know it kind of doesn't stand out very well. You can see it like against the blue there. It doesn't look the best. It kind of just gets lost in the blue. And so you know it's nice that they ended up redoing this figure and like sculpting the back logo and giving it paint job. You know, a lighter blue too, which helps the spider stand out a lot better. But yeah, this is that OG, man. And yeah, I love this toy. I just couldn't believe that you know it was still here. And so, yeah. And I actually did do a head swap with this one and the Spider Charge version. And I actually like how it looks, at least, you know. So like, here's the Spider Charge version, right? The one that I got for a pretty penny, right? This is the much more show accurate Spectacular Spider-Man that came from Hasbro. You can see how much better the back spider logo looks on him because it's sculpted and painted, and it's got that different blue. But yeah, I did actually pop off the head of this spider charge one. All right, so you can see this is how they look. You can see like that big giant ball peg, and I'm assuming, I'm like pretty much 99% sure that this black version we looked at has like the exact same thing underneath for the head. So you know that thus the limited head articulation. But I am gonna pop off just to like demonstrate. I'm gonna pop off the head of this original one and show you the head swap because I actually really do like how the original head looks on the spider charged body. I think it actually has like a pretty neat fit. It actually works a lot. So let me go ahead and pop these on. Let's get on there. There we go. All right, there we go. I'm gonna try to turn his head just a little bit here. And the funny thing about it is the original head on this spider charged body, you can see I've got it on there now. It actually has a pretty snug fit. So like, you know, the head is like very tight on there, and you can turn it side to side, but it is like a little, like you can feel like all the resistance because I think the ball peg is like a little bit bigger for this spider charge one. And so like his head is like really tight on there. You definitely can't really turn it side to side, doesn't move up and down. But when you have it in just like a vanilla pose, I think it looks really good. And honestly, it looks like this head was like made for this body because it works so well. Just try to like straighten his head out here a little bit. But yeah, this is how the head swap looks. So this is the original head on the spider charged body, and tell me that doesn't look good. Like that honestly looks so nice. Honestly, I wouldn't even be mad if like they had decided to put this head on this body and it came like this. Like I think that looks really good. You know, obviously my guy is missing a bit of paint on his left eye. You know, some of that came off, I guess, over time, over the years. He did have perfect eyes when I first got him, but now you can see a little bit of red, you know, poking underneath, but no biggie there. Just call it some battle damage, all right? He's been fighting the Green Goblin lately, so a little bit of his eyes got taken off, but no biggie, eye lenses. But yeah, I do really like how this looks. You know, this head swap I think looks really nice front to back. I think it actually works very well with like the rest of the costume, so I like how that looks a lot. Now the other one, the original one with the spider charge head on, doesn't look as good, I would argue. Mostly because the head shape is kind of weird for this body, and the webbing pattern of the mask just doesn't quite work with the rest of the webbing on the costume. You know, it's more spread out, just like, you know, his original body is, and so it doesn't really flow well with the rest of this costume. And then not only that, not only is his head like too big now, but it doesn't fit on this ball peg very well. So it's, you know, it's all loose, just kind of jiggles all over the place. It's like a bobblehead. So yeah, head swap wise, this doesn't really work for, you know, this one. This head on this body doesn't work too well, but just so you can see like what he looks like with the head swap. Yeah, you can see how loose that this head is like hanging off of the ball peg. So not the best. But this one on the other hand, I actually do like a lot. And for like a while, I actually did just keep this head, you know, on this body just because I liked how it looks so much. And yeah, I think it honestly looks really good. Like, look at that, man. Profile shot. I think that looks pretty good, man. Front to back. It's still got like a pretty good proportion with the rest of the body. So like, he doesn't look super buff or anything, but you know, I feel like the overall like head shape actually does work on this one pretty nice. So there is that. I just wanted to show you guys that real quick. But yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. I'm going to show y'all some size comparisons now with the black one, and then we will call it a video. All right. So let's see here. All right. So first up for size comparisons, of course, I'm going to switch the heads back so you guys can get a more accurate sense of how these guys stack with each other. So switching these heads back real quick. Pop this back on. Alright. Pop this one back on. Ooh, dropped it. Slippery. There we go. Alright, there we go. Alright, so here we go. Here is the Spider Charge Spectacular Spider-Man red and blue suit. The OG. Here's how he stacks with his Black Suit companion, his brother, his evil twin brother. Straighten out these legs a little bit. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but it seems like pretty much every copy that I've seen of this guy now, as I look closer, it always seems like the web line that comes down like the middle of his mask doesn't quite line up right, so it's always like a little more off to like the right side. Like you can see like there's more space of black between this side and this side, like right there. So yeah, it always seems like the webbing is a little slightly like misaligned on his mask for some reason, but you know, that's not a big deal. But I just wanted to point that out real quick. Slight imperfection there. But yeah, here we go with the black costume Spectacular Spider-Man, and then the original red and blue. And yeah, there you go. You can see they look awesome, man. This is a great lineup. I've always wanted to see these two, you know, side by side. So finally getting them together, I think, is a really great thing. And they're gonna look really dope in the collection standing next to one another. So I like that. They stack up pretty well. They're like basically the exact same height. Because, you know, between these molds, they really didn't change up too much. I mean, this is pretty much the exact same body, except this one has like an ab crunch joint, bicep swivel. They just added like a few more articulation points, but it's like overall the same mold, same sculpt of, you know, body. So there you go. All right, so moving him out the way, now we'll compare him with the original, you know, the Wave 1 version that came out. And the reason I showed you guys this one is because point I was trying to make is that they also did make black suited versions using this original body. So like in the Wave 1 that came out, they did have you know, black suited Spectacular Spider-Mans using this body instead of that one. And so, you know, they redid everything, and then like Wave 2 or 3 that came out, they started using this new body, which is obviously more show accurate. So that's why I wanted to show you guys this one. But here we go. Let's try to get this guy standing. This guy always has a little bit more of an awkward stance. Super skinny legs. It's funny, like he's got chicken legs, but then you can see like all the definition like in his thighs and stuff. So I always found that kind of funny about this guy. But yeah, you can actually see this one is a little bit smaller actually than this you know, updated version of body. So he actually, yeah, his scale's a little bit smaller. Even though he looks like taller and lankier, he's actually a little bit shorter than this guy. So yeah, which means he's shorter than the Spider Charge one as well. So there you have it. There's your size comparison for those. Looking at some other Spidey figures. What else we got? Let's bring in the Black Suit Spider-Man from the Red Hulk Build-A-Figure wave. So this is another old figure. I think this figure honestly came out around the same time as this. I think this figure was like maybe around 2009, 2008. So not long after, you know, this one was out. Maybe the same time. And then we'll get the Tom Holland No Way Home integrated suit Marvel Legends figure. This is the solo release of the integrated suit that came from Hasbro. I've got the Tom Holland head on that came with the, you know, the 2-pack Tom Holland, you know, Tom and Ned, or Peter and Ned 2-pack. So we got that one. So there's your size comparisons for those three. Move this over just a little bit. There you go. So yeah, I think they'll stack up pretty well. They're all like around the same height. So yeah, it's pretty good. Moving these guys out the way. Next up, we'll get him with some more Spider-Mans. We got the McFarlane Spider-Man by Toy Biz. A goat of a figure, all right. And then we have the Amazing Spider-Man 2 Mafex figure. This is the deluxe version. I got the Andrew Garfield head on. I know we haven't seen this guy in a while, and honestly, the reason for that is just because I've had him in a pose where he was holding MJ. Just like, you know, No Way Home, I was trying to recreate that scene where he catches MJ. The redemption. All right, so but you know, he always falls over. So you know, the last time he fell over, I said screw it and just left him down. But I was like, you know what? I'll show him off in the size comparisons today. So yeah, there he is. You know, obviously he is much taller. Definitely the tallest one here. He's even a little bit taller than McFarlane Spider-Man. So yeah, there you go. Kind of like you know, up, down, up for the height. So there you go. I still love this figure a lot. I cannot wait though for the new version of him to come out that Mafex is releasing for like the No Way Home, because the suit looks a lot more accurate. The red is a lot brighter, so I'm very, very hyped to get that one. But yeah, here we have the Shocker from the Retro Wave, Spider-Man Retro Wave. Retro card, and then we have the Retro card Peter Parker, also from Hasbro. And there you go. You can see those three lined up pretty good there. Peter seems to be the tallest of the three. And so, yeah, there's your lineup. I think these two definitely work pretty well. I think you can kind of, like, if you weren't able to get your hands on the Spectacular Spider-Man Shocker, I think, you know, having this guy would be a nice substitute. You can kind of have these guys fight. I think that would look pretty cool. All right, moving them out the way. Let's see, for a Mafex comparison, we'll get the Mark 45 Iron Man from Mafex. Make sure his feet are good. Try to get him standing up straight. These are like a little bit, but yeah. All right, there's Mark 45. Turn him just a little bit more towards the camera. There we go. And then for an SH Figure Arts, we have our Red Hurricaneer. All right, or Red Ninja Storm, Shane Clark. So there you go. See how they stack up. These guys scale pretty well with each other. This Mafex Iron Man is obviously a little bit bigger, taller in scale than both of them. So you have that. Let's move these guys out the way. For another Hasbro comparison, we have the Hasbro Duels End Darth Vader from Kenobi. Let's see, get his feet adjusted. There we go. So we have Lord Vader, and then for some Spidey villains, again, we've got Carnage from the Venom movie wave by Hasbro. Alright, so you see how the three of them stack. I think that's pretty good. Carnage is definitely taller, so is Darth Vader. And yeah, there you go. They're about the same height, Carnage and Vader. And let's see, we'll bring in the Homecoming Peter Parker 2-pack. I got the Spidey mask on for this guy. And then let's see who else. For Lightning Collection, we'll bring in the recently reviewed Blazing Red Lion, alright, or Wild Force Red Ranger. Because my guy did such an excellent job on him. So let's show that off real quick. And yeah, there you go. There's your size comparisons. Obviously the tallest of the three. You know, these two are like basically kids. So there you go. Height difference is appropriate. Move him out the way. For an older like Bandai comparison, we'll put in the Lightspeed Rescue Red Ranger right here. We got Carter from the Bandai line, and then we'll bring in the Enforcer, the what is that game called? Fortnite Enforcer by Jazzwares. Alright, so there you go. I think that looks pretty good. Booyah. So yeah, there you have it. That looks pretty nice. I like it. Nice stack up there. And to finish it off, we have the Green Goblin. This is the Sinister Six Green Goblin from the box set from Toy Biz back in the day. I'm gonna take him off his glider, matter of fact, so we can get a better look, more accurate look here. Glider over there. I feel like I haven't stood this guy up on his feet in forever. I always have him on the glider. But let's see if I can get him standing here. Okay, yeah, there we go. So there we go with the Sinister Six Goblin. Alright, by Toy Biz. Still love this figure, absolutely, like, love the details on this one. And then here comes the NECA Ezio from Assassin's Creed. I think this is like the Brotherhood, I believe. Yeah, Brotherhood Ezio by NECA and Ubisoft. Alright. And yeah, it looks pretty good. Obviously, Ezio is much bigger, 7-inch scale line. They scale all right, you know. Green Goblin's just like a little bit bigger, which I think is appropriate. I think he should be just like a little bit taller maybe than Spider-Man, because Norman is a grown man. So there you go. So taking them out the way. And last but not least, we have, of course, Lightning Collection, Dino Thunder White Ranger or Abarigila. Alright, and this is my custom, so if he looks a little different or strange, that's why I gave him a repaint. But yeah, there you go. Had to see a good contrast of white and black next to each other, a little juxtaposition there. But I definitely do like how both of these look, the kind of sinister look of both. So very, very cool. Alright, so there you go. That's all the size comparisons. And that wraps up my review of the Spectacular Spider-Man, Black Suit Spider-Man. I think this is Spider Charge. Yeah, this is part of the Spider Charge line. So yeah, this is the Spider Charged Black Suit Spider-Man with the webbing on it. So I got to make that distinction because they did make the version without the webbing as well. So this is the one with the webbing on it. If you can find him for a good price, a decent price online, I definitely recommend it, man. He is going to be like a grail piece, I'm pretty sure, because, people love Spectacular Spider-Man. And a lot of those, older figures from the show are, pretty high in price now. And I feel like they're only going to go up, especially with all this, stupid tariff crap and everything. But just like, value-wise, I think these are going to go up just because... as time goes on, these are going to be more and more rare. And so if you can find one for a decent price, man, I definitely say go for it. It's a figure that you definitely won't regret having in your collection. Again, obviously I got him loose, so he did come with some accessories. I didn't get any of those. I think he came with like some kind of like, it's like a backpack thing that you attach to his back, and it has like all these like little like legs or like wings on it that you can move around. It's like this like jetpack or something that you attach to his back, and then he comes with like a little spider, kind of like the red and blue one did. But I think there's like variants, or like he comes with different spiders sometimes. I've seen one that was like a silver spider that came with him, and then one that was like, I think like a red spider or something else. Yeah, it was like a different color. So I guess it just depends on which one you get. But yeah, that is my review on this guy. So hope you enjoyed it. If you did, if you could do your boy a favor, leave a like on the video. Feel free to leave a comment below. I read my comments, man. I do my best to reply to everybody that leaves a comment. I appreciate all you guys for tuning in. We're getting close, man, to 200 subscribers. So, I'm very excited about that. I want to do something big for the channel. I'm not completely sure what I'm going to do when that happens, but very, very excited to see that. So I just want to say thank you to everybody that's been subscribing lately, to all my, day one followers that have been around. Thank you very, very much, man. I appreciate all you guys. Much love. Hope you're enjoying the content. If you've got any ideas, anything that you want to see on the channel, or anything that you feel like would make the channel better, please let me know, man. Don't be shy. Leave a comment down below. I'll be happy to read what you, what you say down there. And let's get a little discussion going. All right, so hope all you guys are having a great day. For me, it is Saturday. I'm not sure what day you're going to be watching this on, but whatever day, have a great day. Stay safe out there, man. Stay blessed. Just be a good person, man, and you get what you put out. So put out that good energy, it'll come back to you, man. So stay strong, keep your head high, and shoot for the stars. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace out.